How you doing? We're back. I'm just about done with this painting. I'm very, very pleased with it too. But I still have a few figures in here that I've got to get done. It's going to be a little bit more time. I figure out there all day tomorrow. If everything goes as planned, I should be wrapping this one up, and then you'll get to enjoy it on my Facebook and my website. But anyway, what I wanted to show you is what I consider the overall. Like I said, I got a few more figures to do. But basically at this point, what I want to do is start really whitening it up and give it a white Christmas. And the whites to me is where it's really at. That's what brings out the snow and, you know, like I said, more spirit to the painting. And the snow to me is what I think about when I think of Christmas. I think of the snow. So what I want to do now, I have a lot of shadow areas that are going to stay blue because there's absence of light. That's just the way it's going to be, and that's the reflection of my sky. But at this point, what I like to do is put a lot of, I don't use titanium throughout my whole process to the very end, and I use a titanium white, which is very white, the white as you can get in my opinion. And I'm going to start hitting the tops of these roofs, letting that moonlight play on it a little bit. I'm going to exaggerate color, probably a lot more than what would really be. But in painting, that's what I like to do, is get right up next to it and then exaggerate, have fun, especially on a fantasy picture. So I'm going to give you a quick scan real quick, if you can, and let you kind of see where it's at. And then we're going to try to really make it brighter. And like I said, I'm going to try to hit these rooftops really, really hard. And then I'm going to come down here on my snow where my windows are and really start punching some of that in. And if we can get some up closes of the windows, you can see where the snow's laying inside of it. That took a little bit of time, honestly. But it's important to me that you catch that snow on the windows. It gives it a really cold feeling on the outside, warm on the inside. And that's kind of where I like to play with my windows. It also helps your light, you know, glow a lot better when you pop that white up next to it. And that's all I got. Just come in here and watch what I'm fixing to do, because I just can't wait. Now anywhere where I have light, this is where I'm going to start. Anywhere where I have a lot of light come out of a window, I'm going to actually, I am not quite prepared, but I'm going to have a lot. Now this light up here would hit this top of this roof. A lot of y'all didn't get to see this if you kept up with the videos. I really haven't showed this part. But this is where I really like to get into it. Right in here it looks white, but it can be so much whiter. And that's what titanium white does. You might not notice it a whole bunch, but I promise you, it's getting it whiter. You'll stay with it, and just, if she's got a real good zoom on it, you'll be able to see it really well. And it gives it that crystallized sparkle. Them lights are really gleaming, and I got all the lights on. They've been busy trying to get this thing together for it to make his flight, working all year in that last minute preparation. So all the lights are on, which I like to do anyway, and they're burning bright. So we got to really make this white snow come alive. And this titanium really has a way of doing that. And I just like to just kind of play with it, not work too fast, but just work them into my lights and let them do their job. I got this street lamp right here that's really going to put out some white on the ground. And regardless of whether I put more L's in it or not, I need to have more white. I'll just paint them through it. But that's where I want to put a lot of concentration. Street lamps is putting extra on top of it, so you have the magnitude of several different lights. And if you get a real good zoom in right here where they can see, you can see the difference in this titanium and the white that I had on before. And that's where I like to get a lot of it. And I just kind of let my brush hit, let the canvas pull some of it. That gives it more of a crystallized feel on the ground. And I love to do that. I like to play the light. And that just kind of lights it up. Now we're going to go to the rooftop where it's mostly moonlight, and the moon in real life could, but with all the fog coming through, I'm really going to be exaggerating my color an awful lot. But to me, that's what it's about on this kind of painting. If it was a buck painting that I was approaching or working on, probably wouldn't be quite as fantasy with it. I'd try to keep my lights as real as possible. But with this kind of painting, it gives me a little bit more room to explode my colors and really, really have a lot of fun. And I think most of you out there looking at this painting would probably appreciate that. for the most part. as an artist just trying to make a living at it, of course that's what is important, is my audience, my fan base is very, very important to me. So I do keep it in mind sometimes not to do exactly what I want, but to work with what I think the viewer would want for the most part. I have to make a living. And a lot of it's opinionated, very much so. But like I said, I do keep my work authentic for the most part. It just depends on what I'm painting, what I'm trying to accomplish. But I'm hoping right now y'all can really see the difference in the white, how it really just jumps on it. I'll be hitting these chimneys here in a second too. Right down in here, and what I'm doing is I'm separating my house from my background. Them trees are back there, that's why you don't really see a lot of spark on them. But up here I can bring my house forward by really giving it that punch. And what I'm doing is I'm kind of letting my brush hairs just have fun on their own, just by placing it where I want to. This gives it that crystallized, frozen, soft snow that I really like to capture. Especially on the end when I got some darks like that to work with, I can really let it get a little wiry. Fresh, it just quit snowing. It's just laying on top of frozen snow. And to me, it gives it a really, really soft, pretty snow, if you want to call it that. I just kind of let my brush hairs do their little thing. As you can tell, the chimney blocks the light of the moon. It's the only thing up here that would cause any light, so I want to stay aware of that. I try to be authentic in that area. And that's really how you get that white. And what it does, it wraps your house around, separates it from the background, and lets it come forward so the viewer can really appreciate what you've painted there. Now I'm going to skip over to this one, and then we'll come back to the chimneys. But I want to hit this one really, really hard. That's a direct shot on that corner of that roof there. Just really want to hit it hard. These blues back in here, they actually complement the whites. It's got a cold blue color. I really love doing this. Now a little here I don't like. So I'm just going to take my brush and kind of let the ends do their thing up there, see? Like that. And for some of you out there that hasn't never realized my art, I'm going to give away a little thing that I actually put in my paintings. I try to live a Christian life as much as possible. I do the best I can to live that way. And what I've started doing the last couple of years, if you're interested in looking at it, you can look for Jesus on the cross. I put it in all my paintings the last 2 or 3 years since I've started doing it. And you have to look for it. It could be in the roof, it could be shadows playing on the ground, but it'll be Jesus, the symbol of Jesus on the cross. I try to give back to my hero, my ultimate man, Jesus Christ. It's very important to me. So hope y'all can go back through some of my latest work and see if you can find him on the cross. I have a lot of people that said they've enjoyed that with my art. Now right in here, I'm going to try to make this, where this bend is, try to make some of that moonlight pass through it. Give it a little bit more proportionate perspective on the roof and bring it through a little bit. Just kind of going to bring my light through the pass-through right here. You can kind of feel that playing on it. Right up in there, I got them dark trees in the background so I can get that soft, poofy feeling that I like. The chimney itself gives it to me here, so I can just kind of play with it. If you ever get a chance to see one of my originals in person, you'll see things you probably wouldn't be able to see on my websites. But this is the things that you could appreciate, the fine-tuned details. They look so much better in person. I'm fixing to have to wrap this up, so I'll be back though to give you the clip on the chimneys and watch how they explode. Thank you.